afternoon, Facebook. This is Stephen in deepest Wiltshire in England, and my co-host Tina. Hello, Tina.
Hi, Stephen. How are you today?
I'm good. After yesterday, which we'll come to in a moment. Our special guest today is Annie. Hello, Annie. How are you?
How are you guys? I'm doing very well. How are you guys?
Well,
great. I love your shirt.
Good.
Oh, thank you.
What does it say underneath?
It's hard to see, but it says magically convert and publish your content everywhere.
Awesome. Whatever you do, do not ever let Robert Stern have one of those shirts.
Why not?
Because every platform that he has a T-shirt from does not exist anymore.
Oh, no, really? Okay.
Oh, really? Really? It's quite
no
hard
swag for him.
I mean, I've got a collection too of things like Threadsy and Blab and what have you. And they're no longer with us. So T-shirts don't work.
T-shirts are bad luck.
But it seems that way. To everybody who's watching us at the moment, welcome to the show. This is not BeLive's birthday. This is the day after BeLive's birthday.
Everyone's hungover.
Yeah, I mean, how Jeff did it, I don't know.
I thought still asleep.
Yeah, I thought it's from yesterday. I thought it was just absolutely brilliant, but it was just a feat of engineering and a feat of stamina from Jeff.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, he managed to keep everybody optimistic for all that time, and we've got a hello from Corinda to Tina.
Hi, Corinda.
Corinda.
And it's good to see you, Corinda, and to everybody who's watching. Thank you. Now, normally when we have you on the show, Annie, we talk about repurposing. So let's talk about repurposing. Right. Okay. How are things going? Because last time we spoke, you just broken 850 users, and things were moving.
Yeah, I was trying. Last time we talked, we said we're going to try to push to 1,000 before this show.
Yep.
We're close. We're at 960.
Wow.
960 today. So it's getting there. The word is getting around. I'm happy. It's between trial users and paid users. So I wish eventually they all become paid, but we'll get there. But this is the fact that people are using it, people are talking about it, sharing it. It's exciting for me. So I'm grateful for that.
Well, we tell everybody about it and about your WordPress plugins.
No,
we do twice a week on our shows. We've always mentioned repurposing because we get confused which show we're in, and we just go for it and we talk about repurposing. Right. So would you like to, to everybody who's watching, we'd like to give just an overview of repurposing, and then we'll ask you some questions. Not too difficult, but.
For sure, yeah. I mean, the general idea of repurposing is just taking a piece of content you created once, whether it's a live stream, a podcast, a video, and just converting it and distributing it to other platforms. The common examples of repurposing is just taking a Facebook Live, what we're doing here, and sending a copy of it to YouTube so it kind of lives longer. You can also take a copy of it and convert it to an audio and make that into an audio podcast. And also blog posts, taking the video, embedding it on a blog post. So those are kind of like three different ways you can repurpose just a Facebook Live, just for example. So you create the content once. You want to get the idea is to get it on channels where people may not necessarily know you from, or may not be watching Facebook Lives, but they can still consume your content where they normally hang out.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, Tina.
I was just going to say, reaching people where they live.
Exactly. And people consume content differently. Like people like to read, people like to watch videos, people like to save videos and watch them later on Facebook. People are searching on Google or searching on YouTube. So you don't know where they are. And especially in the podcasting world, if you have a podcast, a lot of people still don't know what a podcast or how to consume a podcast. So having an audio form is great for people who know what podcasts are, but having it on other platforms like videos on Facebook and videos on YouTube just helps your content get discovered more easily.
Right. What is the current situation? I mean, one of the places you can put your podcast is SoundCloud. What's the current situation with SoundCloud?
I don't recommend SoundCloud as your primary host for your podcast. So SoundCloud is, to me, SoundCloud is like the YouTube of audio. So it's a platform where people go and they discover content. They also have a podcasting option, so you can actually host your podcast there. They've been having, I don't follow too tightly, but I keep hearing about financial issues, and they get saved, and there's always a concern about the future of SoundCloud, which it's been going on for years and they're still around, so I'm sure it's fine. But I always recommend put your content there, but don't make that your primary host. Pick a host, something like a Libsyn, Blueberry, Spreaker. Those are been solid, reliable, been around for a long time, podcast specific platforms, and they're very inexpensive to get started. Like $5 a month can get you started. And the beauty is, they give you stats and they focus on podcasting. That's their specialty, as opposed to SoundCloud, which was a audio platform which added podcasting to it. So,
right. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it wasn't a podcasting platform to start with. It's an audio. I think a lot of musicians put their music on there. And then podcasting is becoming more and more popular, so they kind of give the option for podcasting, but I don't personally recommend them to be your primary podcast host.
I think that they definitely are more music based. People, because it is a platform that caters to Apple users, people will discover things through it. So, listing your things there is good. It's good for discoverability, but it's not the, like you said, it wasn't created for podcasting. Now, the only people who know that are the people who podcast. If you're not a podcaster, you don't know what the platforms are that Hani just mentioned that are specific to podcasting. But if you're interested in turning your live content into it, it's worth doing a little bit of research and looking at those other platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. And I recommend it. I mean, I recommend if you're doing a show, especially like a regular show, whether it's weekly, daily, that's like anything that's regular is perfect. Like a podcast is a perfect platform. An audio version podcast is a perfect place to have that, to repurpose that content to, because you're already creating it. You're doing it regularly. The thing about podcasting is people expect it. When they listen, when they subscribe on their phones, me talking from direct experience, if a show, every Tuesday I listen to this one particular show. Okay. And if it's not there on Tuesday, it was not there. One Tuesday wasn't there. I've been listening for years, and only one Tuesday was not there. I would start tweeting them, "Hey guys, what happened to the show? I'm so addicted that every Tuesday I need that show." So it's having a regular show, putting it as an audio version. You'll just get your subscribers hooked. Like you get your listeners hooked.
Yeah, it's something Stephen and I still have not done.
Have we not?
We haven't. That's on our strategy we're building for 2018.
You started working on 2018 because 2017 is full at the moment.
I recommend it, and I tell people, like, not every single live stream you do is going to be a podcast, right? Yeah, you got to pick and choose the ones that make sense, or if you're doing a show specifically, just take that one show and just play around with it. Like get it out there as a podcast and see what happens. I mean, podcasting is a few extra steps you need to kind of do, like one-time steps you got to set up in terms of, connecting your podcast feed, which your podcast host provides for you, connecting that to iTunes, to Google Play. There's a little bit of learning curve to get that set up, but once they're set up, it's kind of a one-time thing. Then it's really making the content and uploading it to that platform. That's the thing that you got to do on a regular basis. So don't be intimidated. There's a lot of articles on there. If you just Google how to start a podcast, there's a ton of information out there. But if you have the content, it makes it easier. I find making the content, to me, is the hard part.
It is. Yeah. That's why we. Go ahead, Stephen.
No, my thought's gone. Carry on.
Poor Stephen. I always talk right at the same time he does. I was going to say, making the content is the hard part. That's why we preach repurposing, because if you can make the most out of one piece of content that you've created, then, that's less work for you. It doesn't matter what kind of content you're creating, whether it's written or a podcast or a video, it's still time consuming and a lot of work goes into it. So make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, talking about repurposing, the expert at repurposing, not at coding repurposing programs, but the expert at repurposing, Kim Garst, was on us yesterday. And she said you could take one video and make 200 pieces of content. And she then went on to do it.
Nice.
Now, well, yeah. So my question is, based on yesterday, how would you repurpose 14 hours of video?
Well, that's a unique case. That's a unique case. But it's a lot. There's a lot of amazing content in there. I mean, there were speakers. I don't know. I'm saying around 10, 15 minutes per guest speaker. So definitely an opportunity to take that, slice and dice. I mean, to automate that would be pretty tough, but if you get your hands on that content, you can download the Facebook Live. I'm not sure how it was set up with Be Live, but I imagine it was probably not one big.
No, it's 4-hour chunks.
It's probably chunks, right? So if I download a chunk and then go through and just slice it up and where it makes sense to put a transition, probably in between guests, between speakers is what I would do. And then if they're short enough, actually, no, I was going to say you can even put them on Twitter, but Twitter, the video limit is 2 minutes, 20 seconds. So scratch that idea, but but you definitely can take that content and upload onto YouTube. I would not as a full video as
individual ones,
40 or 30 or whatever makes sense, number of videos, and make a playlist and organize them all in a playlist. This is the Be Live 1 year anniversary, and use similar keywords and tags in there. So like keep all the videos related, have the similar keywords and tagging. Something I actually talked about yesterday a little bit, and there were some questions about SEO on YouTube, and we can dive into that a little bit here as well. But the idea is slice and dice into smaller consumable chunks, because a long video is people don't have attention spans to consume long content. Audio is a little different. I find audio people can take up to 20 minutes if they're driving or at the gym or walking. 20 minutes, 30 minutes is good. But obviously 14, what was it? How many hours?
14 hours.
14 hours.
That's crazy.
I hope that everyone will, at the very least, go slice and pull out their piece that they did, the people who presented, and will repurpose that. And then there's also, I think Kim Garst is actually the one that talks about this, and that is making quotes from the live content. And there's, within that 14 hours, there's a lot of quotable content, and which is a good opportunity. We've talked about this before too. If you're pulling out something like that and you're quoting someone, just by quoting them and tagging them and acknowledging their contribution, then you're going to grow your reach, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to share what you did.
For sure. That's a great point. Yeah, tagging, it's awesome. And because, like you said, your natural instinct is to reshare that again, because it's some content.
We all have vanity.
Here, let's share that out.
We work hard on the content, so it's it's acknowledgement, it's social proof, as we like to say, that people appreciate and give credence to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we welcome April. And April says the best way to repurpose yesterday's content is to brand champion and tag those content providers on our collective shows, so that we can build tribes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good advice. Sound advice.
Totally.
And April and Corinda are saying hello, and April's agreeing with you, Tina, which is good. Now, if you were in one of yesterday's videos, how can you get the content? Right. Okay. Everybody who was on the broadcast yesterday signed a waiver, and that waiver is that Be Live TV can use any of yesterday's video as promotion content. Now, I trust Be Live implicitly. I have no problem with that at all. I know who they are. I know where they live. So That's why I accepted it. But obviously, you're in the video, but it's not your video. Mm-hmm. So how do you download a public video on Facebook? Well, I'll give you my way. Then because there's more than one way to skin a cat. So I'm going to give you my way. Go directly to the video. Click on the time so that it actually comes up with the full link, and you've got that video then on the screen. It will say www.facebook.com. Oh, yeah. Change the www to an M. Change the www to an M dot. Refresh. The video then comes up as if it's mobile, and it looks horrible, but don't worry about that. If you right-click on the video, if you press play and then right-click on the video, you can download that video. Now, that's what I did this morning with the first show that Tina and I did yesterday. I downloaded it onto my hard drive, and then I put my super fantastic Screencast-O-Matic editor, and I wiped the first hour and a half, and I wiped the last hour and a half, leaving the 30 minutes we were on, and I then saved that and did it on Facebook today. So that is how one way you can do it. Frozen. Any thoughts?
April says that's not working for her now.
Yeah, I just saw. I've never tried. I've tried this a while ago. I haven't tried it recently. Is that still?
Oh right, okay. I'll do. Sorry.
I use a Chrome plugin extension called Flash Video Downloader.
Mm-hmm.
So I just go to the video, open it up, and then it gives me an option to download the video.
That's easier, isn't it? That's much easier, but it's not as much fun. I mean, you're only pressing a button, which is the techie way of doing it. No. Right, so that is then. Forget everything. No, don't forget everything I've said, because you might be using a different browser. You can actually use Flash Video Downloader, which is a Chrome extension, which Tina knows all about. How easy is it to use?
You just install it, and then you go to the video, and you have to click to open the video so that it opens up in the full window, like you said. Click on the timestamp, and then in your browser, it'll show you the arrow's always there, but it's green, and you can download something. And so you just click the arrow, and it downloads.
All right, and
don't use that inappropriately.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's not legal to do that for other people's videos. Do it for your own videos.
Yeah, technically, it is a yes. We try to be good, but I mean, we are promoting Be Live, aren't we? In this case.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, in this case, it makes total sense.
And Tina's saying she's going to check that out again because FB made changes and it just disappeared. Okay. And Tina is April saying, "Don't tell us all your secrets."
Well, I hear a little bit of an echo. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
Yeah, I've got an echo too. Annie, can you just speak for a moment?
Can you hear me? Is it?
Am
I the culprit?
I don't know. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
I'm just going to put my headphones on just in case.
All right. Okay. Right. And hello, Robert. It's good to see you as always. Yeah. So.
Uh-oh. That was it. It's gone.
Oh, okay.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Yeah. So, downloading public video, if you're watching the replay, my way works sometimes, and Tina's way works all the time, as Tina revealed.
Well, and Stephen, there are differences in Facebook for the UK and Facebook in the US, so it may not work for those of us in the US. I've not tried it that way, but I know you have different features than we have.
Well, that's yeah. We do, because you get everything first. In the States, you get it first. You and Australia.
Well, they figure if anybody can mess it up, it's us. So they give it to us first.
Right. And April was right. It was Annie. We're now good. And from Bridget, it's okay.
It's weird that you don't have it initially, but then it starts to kick in. And I noticed that a lot. We'll start out fine, and then we'll start to hear an echo as we go through the show.
All right. Now, this is interesting because Bridget is in South Africa, and she's saying I actually have a green downloader on my Beeline videos and thought it's a native downloader that was added.
For your own videos, yes.
All right. Is that, sorry, Bridget, can you just clarify, is that your videos or other people's as well? Other people's public videos? And person who doesn't hear the echo has the echo. Okay, we're learning all the time. And John, welcome, John. John's saying we usually have a subset.
I'm still waiting on a newsletter from John.
John, I'll pass you again probably Tina's email address.
You sent it. I did not get it. I'm still waiting.
Okay, all good. All right, okay. Bridget's got that arrow to download this current broadcast. Brilliant. And John, he's got sorry. It now clarifies. This is a sentence in two parts. We usually have a subset of Facebook. You press return too soon. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go look to see if I have the download for that. So
yeah.
So you can actually talk without me interrupting you for a minute.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, no, we were having the conversation earlier, and I said that the show yesterday, the show's always run smooth when we work together. And Tina said something else, so she's letting me talk today.
I said I feel like I talk too much.
No. Right. Okay. Now, have you done anything with Libsyn yet?
Nothing released yet, so we're working on integrating Libsyn. We're still in the middle of it. I'll put it this way: we're running into some snags, but the whole idea is, I think we mentioned earlier, is you take the Facebook Live, getting it onto as an audio format, and sending it right to Libsyn, which if you're using Libsyn as your podcast platform, then it'll become live on your podcast feed, which i.e. means it'll be live on iTunes and live on Google Play, etc. So that's the first integration, first true podcast integration that we're doing. Will be Libsyn.
Are there any podcasters you'd like to interview?
Sorry, I didn't hear that part.
Any podcasters you yourself would like to interview? Get to know more. Who favorites is what I'm asking.
I treat podcasting as a learning educational / informational platform. So what I mean by that is I listen to podcasts based on what I'm doing now. So now I've been in software for about the past 3.5 years. I've listened to podcasts about software and growing your software business and marketing your business and that kind of stuff. So I treat it as like entertainment and information at the same time, because I do learn a lot. It's not all of it's actionable, but just hearing the stories of other people in the software space and their journey helps me kind of get tips and tricks. And I learn. That's how I treat podcasting myself. It has to be not purely entertainment, but not purely educational. It has to be a cross of both.
Yeah, I mean it's like live video. You got to inform, educate, and entertain. Because if you don't entertain, then nobody's going to watch. If you don't make mistakes on live video, definitely nobody's going to watch. We make plenty.
I can download the Be Live from yesterday.
All right.
In fact, I am downloading it. So the first chunk where Jeff is beginning is 2 hours and 48 minutes long. I hit download and I have 18 seconds left for the download.
Oh, you got fast.
You got crazy.
We live in a gigabit city, so
That's amazing.
because I hit it and I thought, well, I need to stop it because it's going to bog everything down, and then it's like, no, it's finished.
Wow, I'm jealous.
So you can't even make a cup of coffee while it downloads. Wow. There you are, John. Somebody with faster internet than you. Well, I don't know. John, can you just download the same video and see how long it takes? We're doing
Let's have a race. Let's all do that right now. Let's have a race.
Thank you for the link, John. I saw it post while I was downloading.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's. But anybody else who's watching, if you want to look at the newsletter that John sends out for his clients, then I recommend that you do so.
Well, look at the title. Who would not want to look at that? It's no lumpy gravy. Aren't you curious?
Truly, I mean, straight away. I mean, who does want lumpy gravy? I mean, indeed.
That's a great point for repurposing. Titles are important.
True. Sure. You got to catch just like any headline on any blog post or any headline or any title on any piece of content. Yeah, you gotta be like, oh, what is that? I wanna click. You gotta make the person want to click to be, strike something, a curiosity in them, and get to click that link or click the play button.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's so true. It's true. It's you have to market every piece of content, and then in every way, including the title of the content itself.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's why after every episode that we do on Facebook, I go back and I edit the whole post and get the title right, get the tags right, get the picture right, especially the picture, because Facebook always chooses the wrong picture.
Worst one.
No. It's completely random. If it always took the third photo, then fair enough, but it just makes its mind up. I don't know, unless it knows more than we do.
Yeah.
They might have a team in there just like, all right, let's pick the most awkward picture. Yeah, let's pick that one.
But that might be what makes somebody click on it. Like, what are these people doing?
Yeah.
I mean, if we all went like that, then that would be the shot that should go out. Yeah, I mean, it is about attracting an audience, because we know that 70% of the watch of any video is after the event, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's about 3/4.
That's interesting.
Right. Okay. Now, I wanted to start an advert. Repurposing, obviously transferring over to YouTube and to Libsyn, fine. The other repurposing is to take the video and then repurpose it on Facebook. So, quick conversation: boosting versus advertising. Go.
Okay. I'm gonna give you my thoughts, but I don't have any experience, so they're just based on gut feel. I don't remember if I've ever done boosting myself, but I've done some Facebook ads, not with a video specifically. Facebook ads are a whole different beast. Like, you really need to know what you're doing to get the most bang for your buck. So my guess is boosting is probably the quickest thing you can do, least expensive way to try it a few times and see if it does get more reach. Facebook ads, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole unless you're like, there's some kind of I don't want to say funnel, but there's some kind of eventually get people to take action and get them on an email list, and you have some products and services to sell way down the road. Like, you have to get that return on investment. It's probably just for one piece of content. I probably would not recommend it unless you have a long strategy behind it that gets people to go from the video to go visit a site, to get on an email list, and then maybe to come to a webinar, and then maybe buy a product. Like, if you have that kind of sequence in the back, they call it the back end sequence at the end of the content. Yeah, maybe, but boosting is probably the quickest bang for your buck. And I don't have any experience in boosting, so I don't know how well it actually works. Do you guys boost the videos?
I'm keeping quiet because I haven't either. Tina.
Boosting is, you're right, it's the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do Facebook advertising, you need to educate yourself. There is a learning curve, and you will find yourself in Facebook jail really quickly. There are a lot of rules for Facebook advertising, particularly if you have any product that is that makes any sort of claim, like if you have vitamins that, there's very specific things for pharmaceuticals, obviously for alcoholic beverages, those kind of things. But even for your standard product that isn't making some kind of outrageous claim, they still have very specific rules. You can only have so much text on an image. They prefer you really have no text on an image. You need to educate yourself before you get in there and start playing around too much. Boosting is the easy way. Boosting is only it's going to do exactly what it says. It's going to boost your reach. It's not going to probably make any sales for you. It's not going to do a whole lot for your bottom line or your return on investment. If you're just trying to grow your community a little bit, boosting's okay, but I would be conservative with my budget for boosting and educate yourself on advertising, because it absolutely works if you do it right. Facebook advertising is effective and affordable. And the great thing about, for me, for digital in general, but Facebook, when you're looking at an advertising budget, you're not locked into a campaign. So if you go buy an ad in a magazine and you spend $8,000 on a full page ad, that ad sucks and it doesn't work, too bad. You spent $8,000 and it's in the magazine and it runs for its length of time and you can't change it. When you run Facebook ads, you can do 2 ads and compare them. You can stop the campaign after 2 days if you realize there's a mistake in it or whatever. It's just much more flexible and easier to tweak it and change it if you need to. If you have a product that's changing all the time, like repurpose, you're constantly adding to it. You want to lock yourself into an ad that's going to run for 6 months. You could have something completely different that you need to add to that. So it is good. Facebook advertising is good. It's better than boosting. It has a different purpose than boosting. And you just got to be realistic about your expectations when you boost.
I'm wondering how the boosting pricing works. Is it based on the size of your audience, or is it fixed?
You can set a budget.
Well, you can set a budget. Okay.
Yeah, you can set a lifetime budget for that boost. You can spend $10. And the great thing about Facebook is they'll give you kind of a guesstimate of how many people you'll reach with the money that you're spending. And it'll say, hey, you can reach 10,000 more people if you spend $8 more. So it's affordable to do it. So I'm not saying don't do boosting, just be realistic in your expectations. It's really just more for, for spreading your message further, for getting more people to see your content. But I've also had people tell me, and I've experienced it a little bit myself with some of my clients, if you start spending money to boost content, your organic reach does not go as far. It's really? It's like you're almost penalized. Once you start spending money, they want you to keep spending it.
What? I'm giving them money and they take my audience away.
They want to keep paying.
We've definitely noticed with a few of our clients that when they started boosting posts, their organic went down. So, yes, A/B method for your. Thank you, Robert. I'm having I've got a bad headache today. I was trying to talk to someone earlier, and I'm like, my words just are not coming today. So yes, that's what I meant. Split testing, A/B testing.
So Robert's saying A/B method. A meaning ads, trying to get people to buy it or sign up for something. B is for boost and branding and get more exposure for your posts or videos. Yeah. And I said that Maury was darn good yesterday, and we'll come to that in a minute. But Maury Smith's advice is that you allow organic reach for 24 hours first and then boost. And Brigetti has boosted, but she's going to try Maury's advice on waiting. And also Maury recommends 90% ad manager and 10% boosting of whatever budget you allocate to Facebook advertising.
I didn't get to see Maury's yesterday, so that's one of my replays that I have to go back to. But that 90-10 is excellent advice. Yeah,
Maury's on my list too. And there are quite a few yesterday who I want to watch again, including Alina. Because Alina came up with a wonderful idea, which Tina thinks is a good idea, so we're going to run with it. I'm going to announce it. We're going to Be Live in 5 are going to be running the Be Live in 5 5-day video challenge. Get your head around that. And basically, we're going to sort of put our thinking caps on and come up with a 5-day challenge. All ideas accepted at this stage. If you've got anything that you feel should be in such a short course, then please let us know either now or via Messenger. And we value your input.
If you
because
have
you know
any
what it's
more
about.
fives to add to it, let us know.
Sorry. Be live in five. No, I'm not going there.
Be live
Right,
in
okay,
5-day challenge in 5 steps.
Brilliant. Just back to Mari yesterday. I mean, 99% of the people were extremely well behaved for Jeff yesterday. But Mari unfortunately started late, and Jeff was trying to take her off screen, and she said no. She said, no, I'm staying on screen. I finish when I finish. To have the power to do that. But would we? I mean, that's the difficult thing, isn't it? We've never not been there, so it's very difficult. But Mari does give so much good information out that she's forgiven for being, what's the word I'm looking for? Bossy. Oh, no, I didn't say that. That's not. Oh, dear.
Well, to get to where Mari Smith is in this industry, speaking from a woman's perspective, you gotta be a little bossy.
Indeed. All good. Right, now it's time for a commercial break. So, if you're not been here before, the Be Live in 5, which Tina and I run, is responsible for the free Be Live in 5 course. I'm just going to post a link while both Tina and Annie have a
drink of coffee. Here, cheers.
So there's the link to our course. And in addition to that, now this is where you can help. This will only take you 2 seconds. If you could go to our Be Live in 5 YouTube account, and well, I'm not saying what you should do once you get there, but I think you can guess. But if you could visit,
even take 5 steps.
Yeah, indeed. Watch 4 videos and subscribe. Yeah, okay, so that's the advertisement's over. We don't do it very often. We don't do a call to action. We should learn to do so. Right, the other thing I want to talk about is an update that Be Live did last week, which was the agendas. Because in terms of repurposing content, this is just genius. I'll describe it first. Basically, you can now create your agenda on TalkShow or any of the brands, and you can save it. You save it with a name, and it then is there forever. So, for example, today I have got the following menus. I've got a welcome pack, which is where my welcome to the show comes from. I have the Be Live Talk Show pack, which is where our YouTube came from. And I can also switch to today's menu for today's show and bring up the Flash video downloader, which is the best way to download videos from Facebook.
We're going back to tying in repurposing and our challenge. So the challenge that we're going to do, we're going to be tying that to our Facebook group. And Facebook groups are another great alternative, or not alternative, but in addition to, for promoting your content. And Hani has an amazing private group for repurpose. And I know that is like, that's your warm leads. So anything you have new coming out, we're like fans already. So pushing it out to us first is probably what you're going to do. Is that how you handle marketing? Are you pushing things out to your group first?
Yeah, I use it. I mean, some people, I do a little bit of support in the group. I try not to make it a support. We have a support team and support ticket system, but I do use it to kind of talk about things that are coming, or things that are related, or like yesterday's show, for example, Be Live. I mentioned it in there. So it's a good, like I said, it's a warm group. Warm people who are already users and they already know who I am, and it's just a good platform to talk. Facebook groups are I find very powerful, because you're gonna have a good chance to interact with people and get close to your listeners or your customers, or whatever industry you're in. It's like they have direct access to you without hopping on a call or a Skype call with somebody directly. It's kind of the next best thing. They can ask you questions, and you can share content, and it's a two-way communication without tying up a lot of your time, in the sense like not having a one-on-one meeting with every single customer, you would never get through all that. But if you have a chance at a platform for your listeners or your people who consume your content or your customers, Facebook groups are the easiest to set up. And I invite everybody, whoever signed up for the trial, they automatically get an email invited to the group, and it's great. I have a group. I have a group for every single product, so I try to keep it specific. So I don't talk about general things. Talk repurpose. I try to keep anything related to repurposing is in that repurpose group. Anything related to, the podcasting plugin is in the podcasting group. So I keep them focused. Do you
cross promote at all? Because repurposing, even your WordPress plugins, for us, that's part of repurposing because you're taking that content over to.
Actually, it's funny that you say that because I've been thinking a lot. Like when repurpose came, I've been thinking about almost merging them all into one brand. Right. The plugins are treated separately right now, and there is cross promotion because the products are complementary. But I think at some point, maybe next year, just to basically say this repurpose is everything. Repurpose gets you the plugins, repurposing to WordPress using the plugins, repurposing to YouTube, Facebook, Libsyn, etc. So it might roll it in, might change the name so that people who want just the plugins can still get the plugin, but if you get repurpose, then you'll get it all, kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't made a little bit of rebranding as well because it like you said, it makes sense. It is a form of repurposing, getting your content onto your blog.
Yeah, from a marketing perspective, I really think that Facebook groups are powerful in that we're going to see more brands and small business owners taking advantage of groups, especially when you pair them with things. With if you're wanting to do. Yours is tied to your product, so they get the invite from the product, which a lot of people do. That's really great. But then there are people, and I think Robert Stern is one who's using products like 22 Social so that it's actually a paid entry to get into the group. And they're giving exclusive content to those groups. So they put things out on their Facebook page. They do live shows, but exclusive content goes to the paid subscribers who have paid to be in that group.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that before. So a paid. I guess, I might have seen it one time before, like a membership site. It's almost like a membership site, but
it's exactly a membership site, but it's within Facebook. So you're getting people where they live. They don't have to leave the platform they're already on to go to a website that they've become a member of because people won't do it.
Exactly.
Since they're already here, it's a great use of, and it's really good for for people who have information products. So coaching, there's a lot of coaching. Molly Mahoney actually has more than one, I think, that she uses Facebook as a paid subscription to get in for her confidence coaching and different things.
And the nice thing is because you can go live, you can also go live in that group. Only to that group, you can use it. Say exclusive content, exclusive training, Q&A sessions. You can do all that now with Facebook Live just to that group. So definitely the groups are. You're not sending people, like you said, to another site. They have to remember their login. They're on Facebook. You can talk to them via video and direct communication. But even cooler, I think, is the fact that they get notified. Like if you're part of a group, your Facebook will notify you here's a new post, which is great way for a person in the admin of that group to reach out to the group members.
Yeah. I think it's perfect for coaches and consulting. You already, generally, when people are doing coaching or consulting, they do one-to-one, and that's a high-end product. And not everyone can afford one-to-one coaching or one-on-one consulting. But when they do it as a group, then, of course, the price is more affordable because they're coaching several people at one time. So I think it opens up some really good opportunities for people to learn. And I love to teach. And so I love seeing these opportunities for people to be able to take advantage of things that they couldn't before because it was beyond their reach in terms of, financially. So I think it's great. It's great for, it's great for the consultant and the coach because it gives them another revenue stream and allows them to impart their knowledge to more people. And you're still going to have those people who want the one-on-one. The people who can afford the one-on-one and they want it, they're going to get it. It's like, I work with a company she makes food. So she makes organic, healthy food choices. And, I was like, don't be afraid to share some of your recipes because your customers are not going to make the food. They don't want to make the food. They want you to make the food so they don't have to. But there are people who could benefit from these healthy recipes for themselves. And she works a lot with people who have allergies and sensitivities. So making, to be able to make a cupcake that your kid actually likes and doesn't taste like crap because it's gluten-free is an amazing thing for you to be able to do as a parent if you can't afford to have someone like her to do it for you.
Yeah,
Right.
no, definitely.
And Robert's saying, I've had people switch from the subscription route to one-on-one with me. It's a gradual way to upsell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
the other thing that I like about groups is the statistics that we get,
Oh, yeah.
which makes managing the group a lot better. And without adding anything up, who the best contributors are. Yeah. So who your champions are. You've got a list of them, and an ever-changing list, hopefully. But you are being given the information to actually market.
Yeah, and now you can even ask people when they join the group before they can join. You can ask them a few questions. I've noticed that as well. I haven't set that up myself, but it's a good way to learn more about where they heard about your product or where they heard about your service, or maybe you want to get some more detailed information about them so that you can give more value in the group. So you have that opportunity as well to ask people a questionnaire when they first join the group, which I think is cool. And I haven't taken advantage of it yet, but I will.
I'm thinking about it in terms of the Believers group, Tina. Have you ever used Facebook before? Would be the first question. The second one would be, how have you used Live, and are you familiar with BitLive?
Two good questions. Yeah. Those are good questions to ask for our group for sure if they're going to join the challenge, because we have an idea of how much more they need to learn before they can get to the point of doing the challenge.
Exactly. Yeah, you learn about what level they're at or what they need help with. Yeah, you can ask directly which part of live streaming you need help with. Content creation, setting up the tech stuff. You can ask these kind of questions so you can focus your content on that specifically, at least in the beginning.
Yeah, I think Facebook is going to, continue to improve groups. They've already added some features this year, and their focus seems to really be right now on live and on community building. And groups is a huge part of, the community building that they're pushing. So I think we're going to see improvements in both of those platforms in 2018.
Yeah, I think so. They want you to stay. They want you to keep everything on Facebook. Right?
That's true.
And they want, eventually ads will start showing up in groups. I can imagine things happening like that. I've seen ads in Messenger recently. I don't know if you guys noticed that too, Facebook Messenger ads. So they want to keep you on a platform. They make it as convenient as possible, which is great for us because we don't have to invest in any tools, any software. And then our users, our followers, our subscribers, they just click on Facebook and they're in. They don't have to log in. So it's a win-win-win. Everybody wins in that situation.
It's like marketing in a fishbowl instead of in a whole world. You have a captive audience, really, if you look at it from a marketing perspective.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise there that you have to get through because there's lots of other people who are also trying to get attention, but they're all in one place, which is pretty remarkable. And I had somebody say to me the other day that Facebook won't be around in 5 years. And I was like, I think everything else is going to be gone except Facebook in 5 years.
Yeah. I go with your prediction. Because basically, with 2 billion users, I can't see them going anywhere but up, really.
Yeah, as they continue to monetize. They're already making, billions of dollars. So as they continue to find ways to monetize and to grow and to take the market share away from other entities and pull it all into this one, I don't see them going anywhere either. But this is the tech industry. Who knows?
Well, okay. I'll take that. Now, talking of tech and of marketing, the market that is virtually untapped, really, as far as we're concerned, is YouTube. And I do plan to venture over there in the rest of October on Lightstream and see what we can achieve over there. But I think you've got to cater for a different audience, haven't you, Hani?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel YouTube is, I don't have a big subscriber base on YouTube compared to how many friends I have or connections I have on Facebook. But for me to do a live stream and it's going to notify my 20, 50, whatever, 100 subscribers, I don't produce content all the time there. So I feel like it's a good place to discover content, or if you're looking for a solution, it's a great place to search for stuff. But I can't see interacting with my my audience on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe it's just my audience. I think Facebook for me is just where I get a lot more traction. I get people know me, know more about me, and are willing to engage with me there. So, but definitely content up there is a ton of value. Like videos, obviously you want to have your videos on YouTube, whether it's live streaming or whether it's like the replay of the live stream or just any kind of video content. Like perfect example, like this repurposing, one of the main features was this podcast to YouTube. That's kind of the main thing for podcasters. So I did some keyword research. I basically optimized a video for podcast to YouTube keyword. And I think it's still up. I'm not sure now if it is, but I think it's still up there as number one. So it's good. Someone searching podcast to YouTube, either in Google or in YouTube, it comes up on the first page. The video, not my site, but the video comes up on the first page. So it's amazing. Like it's got over 2,000 views already since April, which views means there's a click-through link back to my website. And I tracked it. Like I have a special link. It's not a regular link. I have a link that tracks where the people came from. And I do have people who have come from my video, became free trial, and then upgraded to paid. So it happens. Like it's, people discovered it, they saw what they liked, they signed up for a free trial, and then a few days later they became a paid customer. So it's not a big source, but it's a great source for discovery and also a great source, in this case, to actually make sales indirectly.
Although Facebook is obviously my favorite platform, it's where I work the most and what I enjoy the most. Facebook does have its shortcomings. The search function on Facebook is awful. It's useless pretty much. You're wasting your time. Don't even do it. If you're looking for something on Facebook, it's still better to search in Google and add Facebook to your string that you're searching. But it's terrible for search. And the longevity of a live video is not great on Facebook. It just gets buried. If it's not buried in your, in what you're posting on your page, it's certainly buried in the feed of the people who would be viewing it. So for longevity and for search, you definitely want to have your content on YouTube and other places. And I think you do have to tweak it for the audience. I think your titles need to be different. The link may need to be different depending on where you're sharing it to. But I don't think you certainly can just share out your content and you're still going to get some traction even if you don't change anything and you share it as is. But if you take a few minutes to tweak it for each platform, I think you'll get a better response.
Yeah, indeed. Mike, last year, early this year, I was putting all the Be Live videos that we did onto YouTube. And when you search for BeLive.tv, 14 of the 20 videos were ones that I'd been involved in. And if I had a product to sell, which, but it is there. There's a market there, which can be sold to, as you've just demonstrated, just by a simple link, taking people. Now, welcome, Jessica. And Jessica's saying it's smart to repurpose live streams to YouTube. Now, I have another question related to that. Repurpose this to YouTube, 60 minutes of video. How much are people going to watch?
Depends on their interest level.
Yeah, it depends what it is. It's hard to say. I mean, to me, I find you're not trying to get them to necessarily watch the whole video, but you want them to catch their attention, get engaged, whether it's a few minutes, seconds, 30 seconds. But the goal is to, I feel bad saying it, but the goal is to get them off of YouTube and onto your website. That's ultimately the goal. So right?
It's brand recognition.
Yeah, brand recognition. Your name keeps coming up in searches. They see you everywhere, right? You're in Facebook, your video, you have content on Facebook, content on YouTube, but also the link in the description and the fact that you have it, the idea of having it right on top, the first 2 lines in your YouTube description, that's key. That's where you drive the people. to engage with you further, learn more about that piece of content or that video or or product, whatever you're offering, whatever your service you're offering. Click on it. Make that link clickable from YouTube, because that's the goal here, is you to get discovered on these platforms, but also drive the traffic to your website.
Well, I think that's a good point, because that's your goal for repurpose, but that's not the goal of everyone. I think you have to be clear about what your goal is when you're using Facebook. So is it just to grow your brand and brand recognition? Is it to drive them back to the website to purchase something? Are you a YouTuber who's trying to grow a tribe on YouTube just to watch your videos so you have enough subscribers that you can then make money off them advertising through YouTube? So I think it depends on what your purpose is, and you need to figure out what that is and act accordingly so that you are leading them in the right direction, because you're leading them. You may not be leading them where you want to go because you don't even know where you're going, but you are leading them to do something, or you're just leading them to nothing, and it ends at that point. And someone put I don't know who said that, don't be homeless,
That it was Brigetti.
Make sure that you have a point. What's your point B? Where are you trying to send them? Do you want it to end there with just, even if you're just trying to grow, you're a YouTuber, you want to be a YouTuber and you're trying to grow your tribe there so you can get to be like PewDiePie, well, you still have to somehow say to them, subscribe to my channel.
Yes. That's true.
Still a call to action.
Yes. I'm going to come to John's point in a minute, but just to come back to Brigetti's, don't forget to repurpose it to your website. Now, I love IFTTT, if this then that. And I thought, right, this is a brilliant idea. What I'll do is set up a recipe. No, it's not called that anymore, but I'll set up an applet which will transfer a link into a new blog post on my website, and it will be wonderful. How many shows do we do a week? I now have about 150 blogs with the title, with the link in, that I haven't had a chance to publish. So, the moral of this story is
watch Stephen's blog. One day you're going to have a whole lot of content all at once to consume.
Yeah, I'm going to republish all the blogs in one go. So now to John's point, which I think is on the money. Should you take the best bits out of the video and make a short video? Now, this was mentioned twice in the last week. Once by Kim Garth yesterday, and last week by Owen Hamzath, saying that rather than posting the 60 minutes, you put the 60 minutes somewhere safe, but you then take from it 4 or 5-minute sections.
I think that's great. But I also know that realistically, a lot of people either lack the skill to do that, or they don't have the time and are not going to do it. So if you have the ability and you have the time to chop those up and edit it to the, to make those little short bits, then I think that's great and it will work for you. But I also know that realistically, there's going to be a huge chunk of people that are never going to be able to do that.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I mean, that would be ideal. You're making, say, 5 pieces of content out of 1 piece of content. But if you were to do nothing, if you were to do one thing, get the whole thing up on YouTube. If you were to have the time, definitely, I agree with it. Slicing and dicing would be the ideal scenario, but people get turned away. Unless repurpose can automatically do that for you. That's another.
That was a subtle hint, Annie. Thank you.
Subtle hint. Make a note here. No. Seriously, I started thinking, how would I automate that step?
If you could, there'd have to be sort of human intervention, wouldn't there? I want minutes 2 to 7, 8 to 13, and 14 to 19. Yeah.
Yeah, or with podcasting, I'm looking at doing that with Twitter, because Twitter is only 2-minute video clips. So if people in their show notes page and in their posts, they put timestamps. They say 1 minute mark, 2 minute mark. They have that as part of their task. So I was thinking of reading those timestamps and automatically making snippets. But I think podcasters do that. Like they put the timestamp. But I think you're doing a live stream. You may not or a video, you may not know how, necessarily know, without watching it, you may not know which times to start and stop.
Because thought, okay, you do have the technology to do this. Basically, you ask the person to go back to the Facebook post and put a timestamp, 2 timestamps
in the description.
in the description. These are the sections that I want.
We don't want you to have to do more coding or anything.
No.
No, that part is actually.
List. I think that's a great idea if you can make it work. I think it depends on if you're like for Hani, his business. This is what he does. This is what he does for a living. This is what he does full time. So if this is your gig and it's what you're doing, whether you need to outsource it to do those little 5-minute clips or whatever, then invest in your business and do it. If this is your side hustle, buy repurposing.io and automate it, because ain't nobody got time for that.
So, well, yeah. Right. Okay. Just to catch up on the comments, and Robert's saying, I make teaser videos that link back to the original one, and that teaser can spread out on all platforms. Yeah, that's a great idea, and we know that BeLive have copied you because they're doing exactly that. See where I gave the credit, Robert? They're doing exactly that with their lives. They put a card up with a short teaser and then a link to the full one. John is reminding us it's not hard to learn through. There are lots of YouTube showing you how to actually break it down. And he corrected himself. It's not Lear, it's Learn, which is perhaps as well.
But even if you can learn it, it's still time consuming. If you're doing 60-minute shows like we are, it still requires us to sift through the show and find the pieces that make sense, because you can't just go, I'm just going to go pick out, 2 minutes to 5 minutes in the show and pull that out. Who knows where that starts and ends? So you have to still sit through the show. Same thing with time stepping. I think it's wonderful to time step. It helps people, especially when you have longer form stuff, helps them to skip through to the pieces that they want. But realistically, again, that requires you sitting through an hour-long show that Stephen does 500 shows a week. So, that's how many hours? I'm not good at math, so it's a long time.
I've got permission from David Burrows to broadcast whenever I want. So there you go. I mean, David Burrows will broadcast 4 and 5 times a day. Yeah, because he goes out to sports events and he broadcasts live from there 3 times during the course of the match. So there you go. And hello, Nazim. And Robert is saying the link back to the original video is key. It builds up the numbers, and that's what helps Facebook. So we're going to try that. Try lots of different things and see what happens. There was a comment which so I've gone through them all. And we're running over again. We've had a good natter, a good chat. Annie, where can people find? Oh, Tina, over to you.
No, complete that sentence. That's silly.
All right,
Tell people where they can find you is what he was going to say. But
I mean, repurpose.io is the repurposing platform, and also hanimura.com is just kind of just all about me and my products, is the other products that I'm involved in, some podcast interviews, links to my Facebook and Twitter and that kind of stuff. So I always tell people, if you're curious about learn more about me or connect with me on Facebook, I just send people to hanimura.com. So HANIMOURRA.com. It's got links to my Twitter, Facebook, all the products, some podcast interviews, and just a one-pager. Not much to read. It's not a blog. Don't worry. I'm not going to get to anything. It's just a one-page. Got my picture, links to my Twitter, some interviews I've done, some products that I've created.
Brilliant.
That's it.
I can be found if you search for BeLive in 5.
Me too.
So BeLive in 5, look out for the upcoming challenge, 5-day challenge, and thank you, Alina, for the idea. And to everybody who's watched, to Robert, to Nazim, to John, to Brigetti, to April, Jessica. I don't think if I've forgotten you, then
thank you anyway.
Thank you anyway, indeed. Well said. We'll see you all again, same time next week. Annie, hopefully we'll be back in November.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Right. Okay. We're off to arrange that. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and take care. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And that was slow.